Intralot Interactive, and there was a session this morning that he presented at that we're following up on, and it relates to their new initiative. It's actually really sort of the genesis or the pulling together a lot of the things that Intralot has been doing to create the universal, what Intralot is calling the universal gaming experience. George, tell us what the universal gaming experience is all about.
Thank you, Paul. I think that universal gaming experience has those three words: universal, gaming, and experience. And this is, let's say, an umbrella which encompasses everything that we have done throughout the years in a unified manner. So now what we think and we have implemented is that we see the player, the actual entity that gives breath in our industry, being at the center of things. And in that sense, we do not distinguish his behavior, let's say, if he goes to the retail or if he goes to the internet or if he interacts with the lottery through a television format, let's say like what we call the interactive TV, or the mobile, or any other format. So we have this technology which sits right in the center, and that enables practically the unification of the player's partners. That very element of unification is the heart of the universal gaming experience. Now, the experience, the term which is the last word of those three words, is because we feel that it's not only about technology, but it's also about processes. So we have designed processes which, enabled by technology, can grasp this behavior throughout the years. Let me say one example of that. We have introduced what we call the Players Club. The Players Club is an element where it resides within the lottery technology that we have. So the player comes into the picture, he has cards. Those cards are loyalty cards, but they could be equally anonymous, so without any personal data attached to it, but they could be eponymous, as we in Greek, or registered. Now, this is the very element of how those cards interact with the player. So where did you get it from? So there's a process behind it. The player has to go into the retail shop, he has to interact with the agent. The agent has to comprehend that element of interaction comes from a different world, the world of, let's say, interactive. So he has, in a way, to adapt himself in selling or promoting or encompassing a new media. At the same time, the player wants to go and play in his home by using those cards. It's not by him going, let's say, in an anonymous black box .com gaming environment, but rather he utilizes assets and relationship elements, relationship vehicles that tie up him and his surroundings with the lottery. Universal gaming, at the same terminology, has the middle word of games. So games is paramount thing. It's all about games. But what are those games which generate enthusiasm? In the past, we were used to in games which are single-player games. So you go, you simply interact, you buy a ticket, or you make your selection in terms of balls or number of numbers out of the total population. Is this the only gaming experience that we can offer to our customers? Are these the only games which exist? And there comes the world of interactive gaming, where if you look around it, the games that you can find there are so diverse. The variety of those are fundamentally bigger than what you can find in retail shops. So we asked ourselves, can we translate that experience into retail games which could share some of those characteristics, modernize, let's say, the traditional retail outlet, and make it, let's say, in a transition mode towards, let's say, elevated games. An example of those are games which are based on the social nature. So instead of you playing one-to-one with an agent or with a lottery, why not play together with others? So what will happen if your selection becomes a winning selection, and then the payout, the prize that you get because of your winning selection, is distributed among you and your friends? So what would the friends think about it? Would that create a viral gaming experience that will come back again and emphasize what we call the gaming experience within the lottery section? So let's call it team gaming or friends gaming. is this not a notion that is being used in social networks? Because some people asked me today about, if the social space is there to stay and what's the relationship of that space with the lotteries. So I'm saying to them, are social elements of the games applicable in a retail environment? And the answer to that is yes. If you want to be successful, though, you need to have the elements, the infrastructure behind. So you need to have technology, absolutely. We never undermine the essence of technology. Technology is there, it has to be there. In our opinion, it's a catalyst, you cannot live without it. But at the same time, you need subsidiary to that, complementary to that, processes and techniques. We wouldn't be going into things that our, very valuable competitors were saying today, that, sometimes it's more about marketing and less about technology. On the contrary, I would say that the most effective marketing is when your products are there and they can, argue that what you're selling to your players could be substantiated. So it's a long answer to a short question, but
No, it was an excellent and comprehensive answer, but my question would be the traditional reason, motivation for the customer to go to the counter in a C-store and buy a ticket is for the hope and dream of winning a jackpot. And it seems like what you might be saying is that there's no reason we need to supplant that or think that that's going away, but it's not going to be enough for the next generation gamer.
This is a correct observation. I think that the jackpot is a construct which is a very attractive construct. The jackpots indicate scale. Scale will always be there. People are attracted to scale. The bigger the jackpot, the more we want to play. So we should not neglect the value and the strength of the jackpots. Rather, I would say that with new games and with open that experiences, someone can complement those traditional constructs with other constructs, which are more frequent perhaps, so you can have lesser prices, but on a more frequent mode. Conditional, of course, that we always preserve what we call the responsible gaming and addictive behavior, which I think is an element of a separate discussion. Of course, it's there to stay. So if you complement jackpots together with social gaming elements, and then make the games as being more dynamic in terms of how often do they end, or how we offer the prizes to the players, then we create a complete gaming experience which drives you throughout the week, not only at the end of the day.
But so it's really going to be about adding a bigger element of play. We talk about playing the lottery, but to what extent is that more like a transaction in which you're buying the hope and dream? It sounds like what you're saying is we need to add a game element, a real game element, an element of play, extended play, social formatting, things like that.
That's absolutely true. We have to depart ourselves from the traditional transaction, instant completion of our relationship, in the sense that you buy something, you get a ticket back, and then satisfied or not, you go back home and you wait for the results, which is, let's say, an instant transaction game. We're more engaging experience. One of the terms that we are using to highlight what we talk engagement is a playing with words, and we introduce the term engagement. So this is engaging through games. And this engagement, some other people call it gamification. We like better the term of engagement, is turning the transaction play, as you said, to a more play-oriented and entertainment-oriented relationship with the lottery.
Okay. We are going to close. This is obviously a big discussion, but we really have got a really great perspective from that, and the universal gaming experience kind of captures where we want to go with this. Thank you, George Zenzefilis. Thank you very much, and
thank you very much.
Good luck at the show, and we will look forward to following the evolution of the universal gaming experience.
Most welcome. Thank you very much.